Well, good morning to you. Good morning. Monday morning. It was on a Monday morning. Yes, 22nd of May 2023. The rain that we were sort of half promised in the night didn't happen. But I've checked the weather forecast and I've looked at the clouds, and I think the rain that we're told we're going to get at 10 o'clock is very likely to happen. That will be good. That will be very good. Yeah, things to do. But what is the 22nd of May? What do we celebrate on the 22nd of May? I suppose we could celebrate the fact that the dustbin lorry has been and has taken away all the rubbish. That was good, but that isn't perhaps the most important thing of the day. Well, there's the thing. It started very gently to rain. Yeah, 22nd of May. Let's take ourselves back to the year 1547. 22nd of May 1547, a nun died. I guess every day of the year, somewhere in the world a nun dies, but this particular nun was a lady called Rita. And one of my neighbours a couple of years ago was chucking out stuff they no longer wanted, tidying up. You know, everyone's got a kitchen drawer that's full of 2 odd batteries and various things, and they gave me this. This is a little image of Saint Rita. She is the patron saint of impossible causes and abused women. So we might think about her life a little today. We might think about the impossible causes that we've got. Yeah, here's an impossible cause. And we might spare a bit of time to think about people less fortunate than ourselves today. How do we know that this lady actually lived? Well, her incorrupt body is still on view in a basilica, or a minor basilica. I'm going to quickly run the lawnmower while it's not raining too hard. Well, there's a funny thing to start a video with. An empty washing liquid capsule thing box with holes drilled in the bottom. Yeah, what's this all about? This is all about, I want to trim up some of the hedges, and well, we could do various things. We could trim them up and just throw away all of the trimmings. Or what we can do, we can take an old washing powder box, we can half fill it with terreau universel. We can do that, and then we can walk this way. That was an old sort of Morecambe and Wise joke, wasn't it, really? Walk this way and then you walk with a limp. But we're going to walk this way, and we're going to walk past all the things I should be doing, and we're going to come here and we're going to take some sable à maçonnier. You're thinking, what on earth has this got to do with trimming hedges? Well, stay with me. Right. Yeah. Let's turn that upside down. Dustbins are great things to have because they give you an instant table. What we're going to do, I'm going to pop you down for a minute because what I'm going to do is mix this. Right, sand and dirt duly mixed. Now let's go and look at the offending hedge that I want to trim up. I think we all agree that these photynia are absolutely gorgeous, but they do sort of run away a bit, don't they? So we're going to give it a bit of a haircut. What I'm going to do is just cut away what I don't want. For example, I want to open that out a bit so that poor little bush in there gets a chance, and I want to square this up a bit, and that's going to produce a lot of throwaway material. And for viewers living in the borough of Thurrock, you all know that throwing away vegetable garden waste at the moment is a bit of a problem. So we're not going to throw any of it away. But what we're going to do, we're going to go, right, I want it sort of lined up there, so we'll go chunk, chunk, chunk. Look at that. And suddenly we've got garden waste. Or not. Right. Let's pick this up. And we're not going to take it to the brown garden waste bin that Thurrock Council won't empty. I don't know why Thurrock Council won't drive all the way to central France to empty brown bins, but I'm sure there's a reason, and I'm sure one of you will fill us in on what's happening in Thurrock. Right, and we're going to unceremoniously dump that there, and then we're going to sit down with a dustbin turned upside down with a bit of broken glass and a knife blade on it. Oh, and an ancient pot of this stuff. I bought this many years ago. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of this and we're going to cut it into several small bits. Now, this is a brand new, very sharp blade. I'm going to be cutting diagonals across leaf nodes. And then I'm going to be plucking off leaves and just leaving the top couple. Then I'm going to dip the sharp end in the powder and use the dibby end of this to make a hole in that, and we're going to plant up some cuttings. I do not know if this is going to work or not. There's a good chance it will. It's not exactly a disaster if it doesn't, or if it isn't 100%, because, well, I'm not short of material to take cuttings from. So I'm going to pop you down while I cut a diagonal there, pluck some leaves off, and we'll see how we get on. Right, this is what my prepared cutting looks like, and we go dib in there. That's a hormone rooting powder, and we pop it in a hole there, and we go dib 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 with that. We knock the surplus off and we pop it in a hole there. I think you get the idea with this. Now, Some people, when they take cuttings, get really upset if they don't get 100% success. I'll be happy with just one of these growing. I'm easily pleased. We pop that in there and then we firm it up. Then what we're going to do, we are going to add water. Now I'm going to use rainwater, but any sort of water will do. Now, does it work? Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? Well, in part, that is a bit of an answer. As you can see, I spend a lot of money buying pots for these. Again, it's a pot with holes drilled in the bottom of it, filled with a mixture of dirt and sand. And what I did, this is the Blue Peter, this is some I prepared earlier. Now, unfortunately, these got damaged by frost and by extreme heat. However, if we look, two of them are surviving and throwing new leaves. What we're going to do, we're going to take out the ones that didn't survive. So that looks like we got 2 out of 5, which is, what's that in percentage terms? Oh, you work out the maths. So not a great success, but this particular group, as I say, they got frosted, and then they got baked and they dried out. Obviously, you are supposed to take some degree of care with this. You know, you're supposed to protect them from extremes of weather and keep them moist. Don't let them get too wet or they will rot. But, you know, keep them moist. And if you only get 2 out of 5, well, that's not a bad result. This isn't about being a cheapskate, although there is a financial gain from it. Photynia plants at the moment, a nice one in the shops, are about €15, which is not a lot unless you want several dozen of them. When you add to that the issue that I've got cuttings that I've got to get rid of, mulch down, rot, call it what you will, to keep the existing hedges the right sort of shape, it just makes sense to take and pot up cuttings, I think.